Hi, welcome to my channel, where typically I document my UI UX design career and side projects, but today's video is going to be a little bit different. We are going to be discussing my brand new 2024 Tesla Model 3. We did it. We bought a Tesla.
I love the color.
I do too. Looks so good.
Oh.
Okay, so we have had our brand new 2024 Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive for just about a week now, and I wanted to share my initial impressions on everything from the ordering process to the pickup process and what the reality is versus the expectations for some of the bigger design changes in this new refresh model. I wanted to wait to do this video just so that some of the initial excitement of getting a new vehicle would wear down, and I want to preface that I'm not a Tesla fanboy. I don't own any Tesla stock. I am just a dad who needed a new vehicle, and I absolutely love technology. So after doing a bit of research, the Tesla was the best option for my family. But let's throw on full self-driving and get into it. So my family is not new to Tesla. We have rented a few Teslas in the past, and I've always loved the experience of the Model 3. My partner's sister also has a Model Y that we have driven around when we have been visiting them. So I've known for a while that if we were going to purchase a new vehicle, that Tesla was definitely going to be on the list, specifically the Model 3, because we are more of a smaller sedan type of family. Oh, missed the turn lane there. And when the AC became unreliable on our 2015 Chevy Cruze, we decided to finally pull the trigger and buy a new vehicle. I did quite a bit of research, and with the tax rebates and the promotional financing rate of 1.99% that we were able to get in August, it was pretty much a no-brainer for us. The Tesla Model 3 checked the most boxes. We purchased the Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive in stealth gray with the 19-inch wheel upgrade. And that wasn't necessarily the configuration that we had in mind, but when you order your vehicle, you can choose between a custom build or what they have in inventory. And we decided to go with inventory since we could get it much quicker. It ended up being a 2-week pickup as opposed to a, oh, this is interesting. Let's see what happens here. Nice. We ended up having a 2-week pickup as opposed to a 6-week pickup if we were to custom order. All right, so we wanted a white interior, but we ended up getting the black interior because they had that available. Also, we have a kid, so we were a little bit worried about what the cleanup and durability would be like with the white seats. And then we didn't really care about the upgraded tires. That's purely an aesthetic upgrade. You actually get less efficiency with the larger 19-inch wheels, and you have a less comfortable ride because of the lower profile tires. But I personally thought that they looked great, so we decided to go with the 19-inch wheel upgrade as well. We'll probably end up picking up the 18-inch wheels with the winter tires should we need to. All right, so after paying the $250 order deposit and getting our VIN number, we could then complete the rest of our information within the Tesla app. And this is where all information and communication takes place, is directly in the Tesla app, which I personally, as a technology-minded person, absolutely love. So we decided to go with Tesla financing, which also takes place through the app. I was able to get approved in under 60 seconds. You enter your information. I saw a notification in Credit Karma that I had a hard inquiry, and then I immediately got a notification that my 1.99% was approved through Tesla financing. We submitted proof that we added the Tesla to our insurance since we had the VIN number, and then we did the estimate for our trade-in directly in the app, and the estimate that we got for our 2015 Chevy Cruze was $2,200, and that's the same as the estimate that we got before we actually submitted our order and added all of the pictures of the trade-in for Tesla to reference. So like I said, I love the integration of technology that Tesla has and the limited necessity of human interaction. I think dealerships are scams, so it's great that you don't have to go through that process to haggle over what's the price of the car, and you don't have any surprise additions before you actually sign in terms of the pricing. But that limited human contact is great until it's not, and we ended up having a bit of a friction point, and that was related to our trade-in. So the day before our confirmed pickup date, I got an email around noon that said we needed to supply a bit more details in regards to our lien being released from the creditor on our old Chevy that we were trading in. The documents that we did submit should have been satisfactory for Tesla. That was confirmed at 2 separate county clerk offices that we had to go to get a new title. So running around to do that the day of our pickup, as you can imagine, was a bit stressful, especially when we had provided the correct especially when we had provided the correct documents already. But thanks to the flexibility of our schedules, my partner was able to take care of that. But I can imagine for some people with less flexible schedules than us, that would be really disappointing to find out the day of your pickup that you're not able to go get your vehicle. But we confirmed again that that 6 p.m. pickup was approved, and we headed off to the pickup center to get our new vehicle. And when we arrived at the service center, this was our last point of friction in terms of the order and delivery process. But there were no signs or anybody to guide you in when you arrived at the pickup center. And the pickup and service centers are combined, so it's really confusing in there if your service center is as busy as ours in terms of where to go to get your paperwork. Once we did fill out our paperwork, it took about 2 to 5 minutes. Most of the paperwork was in relation to the trade-in, so if you are not trading in and you are financing directly through Tesla, I imagine it'll take you about 1 minute to sign all of the papers. We handed in our papers, and one of the service center attendants gave us the parking lot number where our vehicle was located, and we headed out to pick it up. We gave the entire outside once over before accepting it within the app, and then we opened the vehicle and checked out the interior as well. All right, we had to take a little break. My GoPro overheated. It is well over 100 degrees today, and I'm trying to keep the air down so that the audio quality isn't completely. But let's head back to the other side of town and let's discuss the reality of some of the new features and if we think it is worth the money. Okay, let's first discuss the design of the vehicle. I absolutely love the aesthetics of the refresh. I love what they did with the headlights and taillights, and I've always been a fan of the minimalist interior of the vehicle. I feel like the things that some people have complaints about in terms of just having a single monitor, the lack of physical buttons, I really don't mind, and I'm even open to some of the more radical decisions such as removing the stalks. That being said, the swipe to drive and reverse has not been an issue at all, especially since we use the auto shift. Most of the time you just tap the brake once and then it shifts into the correct direction for you. I haven't had any problems with that so far, and I feel like the swiping is very intuitive as well. Now, the turn signals. As I said, I'm pretty open to fairly radical design decisions, so I wasn't too worried about getting behind the wheel without the turn signals on the stock, but I'm a bit surprised at how difficult it is to get used to in practice. If we're being honest, it is completely less efficient than the turn signal on the stock, but I think it is in line with the overall design ethos of moving towards automation for those kind of tasks. You can get a sense of the road noise here. That's actually a good example of the road noise on a not completely smooth asphalt road. There is a noticeable improvement of sound quality in the interior compared to the older Model 3 that we rented a few weeks ago. That was one of the things that I noticed when we were on our road trip, was the sound of the air around the windows was definitely louder than I was expecting for the vehicle. But that has been noticeably improved on the refresh model. and the ride quality is the same. Of course, you're not getting that air suspension that's in the Model S or some other luxury vehicles. But if you're coming from an older gas vehicle, then you're definitely going to be satisfied with the level of drive comfort in terms of the suspension and the road noise combined. Now the fun stuff. In terms of drive performance, I daily drove a Mazda Miata for years of my life. That is a go-kart. This is not the exact same, but this is a go-kart as well. The combination with the handling of the vehicle combined with the snappy acceleration, you can get anywhere that you need to be very quickly. And it's not fast. This maxes out at 125 miles per hour, but as a dad, I don't need to go faster than that. Wow. How weirdly relevant. um, But the acceleration has been more than enough for me. I have launched it a few times, floored it, and I am very satisfied. Audio quality. So I'm not a big stickler for sound systems in my vehicles. As I said, I daily drove a Mazda Miata for so long that the wind noise combating with the sound system, it obviously wasn't a priority for me. That being said, we definitely calculated the value on the upgraded sound system that's in the all-wheel drive model, and I was actually surprised at how thin the sound system is within the rear-wheel drive model. So if you are a big audiophile, I highly recommend test driving both of the models to see if that's important to you. Whoa, sketch. All right, the ambient lighting strip. Another thing that I was considering a gimmick, and I had been seeing people post in the Tesla Model 3 subreddit that they had been experiencing a little bit of peeling on the casing of the ambient lighting strip after a short amount of time. So I thought it was a bit of a gimmick, and the verdict is definitely still out on the durability of the strip, but I found it to be actually much more practical than I was expecting. It provides such a great reference point of where the edges of the vehicle are while you're driving, and it's actually been so practical that I quickly changed my opinion about it just being a gimmick. It looks great during the day and even better at night, and now you can actually adjust the level of the brightness of the ambient lighting within the lighting settings along with the color. And the ability to upgrade the brightness of the LED lighting strip came with the first software update that I downloaded after purchasing the vehicle. So let's discuss the software and the apps. Full self-driving is another thing that I considered gimmicky before actually trying it. And with the latest update to full self-driving, this 12.5.1, I believe, it is completely usable. As you can see, we've been using it this whole time. You definitely still have to pay attention. And I think most people's expectation is that you can turn on the full self-driving and it will take you door to door without having to even be paying attention to the road. We are definitely not there yet. It still makes enough critical errors that you need to be paying attention. And the vehicle monitors you from the camera up here on whether or not your eyes are on the road. Let's park over here. But the auto park in particular is impressive to me, and it's something that I consider actually worth paying for the monthly subscription. I think that the current $8,000 price is a little too steep for our budget, so hopefully we can end up covering that with referrals throughout the year. But at this point, I actually feel like I will be missing out on something when our free trial ends. And the full self-driving is only getting better with software updates, so I can definitely see us subscribing throughout the year. All right, I'm going to head back home and we will do our final conclusion there. Now the big question, is it worth the money? Well, value is definitely a relative term, but I can safely say at this point for my family, the answer is yes. Coming from two older traditional gas-powered vehicles, any modern car was definitely going to check those big boxes, safety, reliability, and lower maintenance. But the technology and user experience of Tesla specifically has allowed us to integrate an EV into our life that feels seamless, and between scheduling, automation, and remote access, it doesn't feel like we just bought a new car, rather we have a new tool that is going to make our life more efficient. And I know that's not what everybody is looking for in terms of a car, but you're checking those boxes without sacrificing any of the traditional qualities of a vehicle such as drive performance. the Tesla is so much fun to drive. And I feel like the Model 3 is the closest that I'm going to get in balancing that fun that I used to have in the Miata while also being spacious and safe enough to have my kid in the back. So what are the downsides to purchasing your first EV? Well, there's a few things specific to Tesla, such as my anxiety revolving around service centers. It feels like a real gamble in terms of the quality of the service center closest to you, and electric vehicles are definitely not for everybody. While there have been significant improvements in battery technology, there are a few limiting factors in terms of adopting an electric vehicle into your life, such as charging and daily mileage. I work from home and my partner is currently a full-time mom, so our daily usage is low enough that we could probably get away with using our mobile charger connected to a standard 110 outlet, but we went ahead and installed a level 2 fast charger on our home just so that it's something that we don't have to think about. And I've already adopted the habit of plugging in our vehicle every evening, and it's back to our 80% charge limit before I even go to bed. Okay, so to wrap this up, so far I am very happy with our purchase of the refresh Model 3. We didn't experience any issues when we went through our delivery checklist, and if you would like to use the same checklist that we use when picking up our vehicle, the link is in the description. And the only thing that I'm a little disappointed about is that we weren't able to take advantage of the Tesla referral program, which is back. So if you are going to buy a new Tesla, use our referral link and you will receive $1,000 off of your purchase. We will receive $500 in Tesla cash, which I will probably end up using to subscribe to Full Self-Driving so that I can demonstrate it on this channel as it advances. All right, ready?
Yeah.
For the 14th time?
How bad is it that my first instinct is to go to a drive-thru and get some food because I'm hungry? But are you okay with us having ice and Chick-fil-A in the car already?
No. Well, it's quiet, huh?
It's very quiet.
Regen, gonna have to get used to the regen again. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to curb the car. It's like when Blue was first born and we're like, who's gonna be responsible for her falling off the couch or something first? And now it's like, who's gonna scuff the rims of the low profile tires first?
I think we know the answer to both of those questions.
It was you.
Because I handled the baby more.
Yeah.
And
at that time, we were pretty
even. I'm
even.
going to drive more.
Okay.
Were you breastfeeding? That's crazy. I didn't see you pumping and breastfeeding.
I gotta get I'm a little busy here, okay? I gotta get my mirrors figured out, one thing at a time. Like, this would be so intimidating for our first time to be in a Tesla.
Yeah, for sure.
So intimidating.
Also, we're not sure if we're stealing this or not right now.
We're not stealing it.
Because you just handed them paperwork and we walked out and found the car.
It's mine now.